I'll be showing you Valorant mechanics you didn't know about. These go from fun to know to extremely useful. Everyone knows you can left click your knife for 50 damage and right click it for 75. But did you know there's a third option? When you just hold your right click, it takes about 1.2 seconds between each hit, which means it takes around 6.5 seconds to destroy a sage wall. But if you unequip and re-equip your knife after every hit, you can do it faster. If you do it like this, the wall gets destroyed about 1.5 seconds earlier. But it's not that useful, as left clicking is still the fastest way to destroy a sage wall. This doesn't mean the skill is completely useless. With for example the double doors on Haven, you're able to destroy them about 0.2 seconds earlier if you first left click and then right click twice while switching. This same trick also applies to other spots, saving you fractions of a second. But now circling back to the sage wall, this one is also possible to do a bit faster than just holding your left mouse button. As if you do the first 5 hits with your left mouse button and the last 2 with your right, it's a bit faster. You could probably do it a bit faster if your timing is better than mine. One more useful takeaway from this is that if you're in a knife fight with an enemy that has 150 health, you try to right click him from the front. Also switch around your knife to kill him off faster. If you want to know more, this Reddit post from 3 years ago still has a lot of relevant info. Valorant has many elevated spike plant spots. These allow you to plant the spike off the edge. So you go to as far on the edge as possible and then plant the spike while looking away from the edge.
Spike planted.
The spike will hover in the air like this. There's quite a few spots like this, for example this one, where you just have to walk as far as possible without falling off. And if you then plant the spike like this, it will float completely in the air without touching any ground. Not all these spots are useful, but it can be fun to switch it up. These are some more examples. These spots aren't extremely useful, but can definitely help you out in certain situations, like for example to confuse an enemy or to just hold the spike from a unique angle. Most of you probably already know by now that if you use your harbor ultimate, you can make it travel different speed and distance. This depends on your movement speed. So if you're standing still, it won't go as fast. You can make it even go slower by walking backwards, or faster by running forwards. Something you might not have known is that if you use a harbor ultimate while running sideways instead of forward or backwards, the ultimate will actually travel to the side. As you can see here on the map, it's moving more to the left. Here you can clearly see the difference. In combination with a very satchel or brimstone stim beacon, you can affect Harbor's movement speed. This also affects his ultimate speed, allowing it to travel even faster or slower, but not slow enough to move backwards. To achieve this, we needed to switch to breach and do this. It's moving backwards, it's possible. Yeah, that's sick. Okay.
What is useful for?
So we only need a breach and a harbor ultimate, and then we can ult ourselves. So the ultimate comes in on us ourselves, okay?
But it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but it moves backwards. Who's gonna expect that? If you've played Sage, you've probably noticed when you try to place your wall down, it's pretty long. But if you put it on like an elevated area like this, it gets a lot shorter. But there's actually a way to extend this and make the wall longer. As all the different wall segments need support to be placed, you can't just place the wall in the air to let it float. But instead, what you do is walk underneath your wall, and as you can see, it gets extended. And you can use your own head to support the wall, adding for example here another wall segment. A way you can use this information is by going underneath your wall like this, and then jumping and placing the wall down at the same time. This allows you to get on top of your wall while it's on an elevated area, and allows the wall to be longer than it normally would be. This allows you to create many walls that would otherwise not be possible, like these. Creating off angles entirely unique to Sage.
Wall raised. Wall raised. Barrier created. Barrier created.
Throwing one-ways is a pretty common thing in Valorant. Nearly every smoke agent will do it and you'll see it in most ranked games. But instead of throwing a smoke as a one-way where you might expect the enemy to push, instead save a smoke for when the enemies are trying to defuse and then place a smoke above them.
Enemy spotted.
Spike planted.
Headshot. Perfect accuracy.
Standing. One enemy remaining.
Can use that. Shadows traveling.
Clutch.
There's a surprising amount of spots where this can be done with many agents.
Obscuring vision.
And these are just on Haven, but every map will have multiple of these choices. And if you're playing Omen and this option isn't available, for example here on Breeze on A side, you can always just throw your smoke in the air,
Shadows traveling.
wait for it to go down, and then just time the peak. Something useful for Viper as well as Harbor players is that if you go into a custom games and enable cheats, if you grab your smoke, it will actually show on the minimap where the smoke will land in the direction that you're throwing it. So this can be very useful for creating lineups without too much effort of trying it out and then going back again. But this is also interesting for Harbor. As for example, if we take this lineup over here, which isn't really the lineup, the smoke lands right here. If I now switch to Harbor and throw the same smoke, you'll see even with the bounce, it will land in the same spot. Changing this setting will give you wall hacks. So, I was playing some ranked and did this.
Push A, push A. Just push A.
So I made a short explaining how I did it. When playing Valorant, look for this.
Alright, push A, push A. Just push A.
When you hit someone, sparks fly around them. Sometimes you're still able to see these sparks if they're behind something. But it seems that some people didn't know about this trick or were starting to see the sparks. You don't see the sparks, do you?
I don't see the sparks at all.
Okay, so funny. Some people, no, there
you're,
are sparks. swear
I
to
know this Mr. Retention over here trying to get people to replay it 20,000 times to see a spark.
But there
I
are
don't see the
sparks.
spark. I've got a fucking full screen on my 32-inch. I can't see a spark.
Give me a second. I swear there's a spark.
Yeah, there's a spark.
Yeah, great.
Where?
Look at my screen.
Where's the spark?
Look at my screen. Right there. You see the spark?
No, I can't see shit. I'm like, this is a 720p. This is even worse quality than YouTube.
You see the
Yo,
spark
one
right
sec,
there. It
let me
shoots
look.
right there. It goes
Let me
No.
look.
boom, boom. Since some people aren't seeing the sparks at all and others just aren't sure what I'm talking about, I decided to make this video and go a bit deeper into it. So for that first video in particular, here I slowed it down to make it a bit easier to see.
Alright, push A. Just push A.
But there are other examples that are easier to spot, like this one, where you can clearly see me hitting him, giving me the information that he's behind the box. So if you have the right settings enabled, you can clearly see that if you shoot someone in the body, multiple small sparks appear around them, or if you shoot him in the head, one large spark appears. This even works if someone's close to the other side of a thin wall. To make sure you get these sparks in game, go to your settings, go to general, and from the top scroll down to others, and then there should be mature content over here. You can just turn off mature content completely, or just turn off blood. As if you do have these settings enabled, you won't be getting the same amount of information as other people might be getting. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is this a bug or an intended feature? And also, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.
What did you do to your eyes? How many carrots did you eat?
How many carrots did you eat?